Welcome to practice. Today's class will be a replenishing restorative class. So a blanket will be handy, and mm, sometimes a chair is useful to have nearby. There will be a little bit of standing and a little balance. We're going to begin laying down and take your blanket and make a long, narrow support. You can roll it up or a concertina fold. And a bolster can be really nice if you have those at home, but they're quite big. And what you want to make sure is if you lie your shoulder blade on your support, that your neck is comfortable reaching the floor, that the back of the neck and the spaces of the discs at the back of the neck feel like they have room, they're not squashed. And then arms straight out from the shoulders. See if you can let the tops of the shoulders relax towards the floor. So we're supporting the rib cage to be spacious and relaxing your back. Hmm. Got my legs in a neutral position for my spine. But you could try Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. By neutral, I mean the legs are parallel and hip width, and the feet are parallel and hip width. Begin by checking in. How does your body feel on this equipment? Maybe if you haven't done this shape for a little while, it might feel strange or a little bit awkward or challenging. Can you let yourself drape a little more over that equipment? Give in to the shape a little more. And feel the shape of your breath, the movement of the ribs, the lungs. Maybe you started with that neutral position for the legs, and you could try the Baddha Konasana now, soles of the feet together, knees wide. Again, giving into the shape. Hmm. Bring the feeling of the middle back embedding towards the front of the torso with you as you roll to your right side and come up to sitting. I'm going to take a kneeling position and use the blanket folded so I can fit it between my ankles. But you might have to sit on the blanket and put your feet out in front of you if kneeling is uncomfortable. Sitting with the feeling in particularly your middle back, your upper back, of the bones of the spine, gently pressing forward so that the ribs feel spacious. And taking some deep breaths now, even put your hands on the sides of your ribs and expanding the ribs out to the side, contracting the ribs as you exhale, expanding and contracting. We're going to keep breathing in that way, really trying to move the rib cage. And we're going to add arms in now. Bring the arms by your side. And as you expand your ribs out to the side, take the arms up just as far as your shoulders are comfortable with, and try to keep your shoulders down. And then as you contract your ribs, as you exhale, bring the arms back down. Expanding the ribs, breathing in, raising the arm, contracting, lowering your arm. A little bit to coordinate and just check in. How do your shoulders feel? Maybe taking the arms all the way up is a little bit strong to begin with. But checking in. Good. And we're going to take the arms up close to the ears as your shoulders are comfortable with. So they might have to be out here. That feels better for your shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades down. Those deep, expansive and contracting breaths again for the ribs. Keep the arms up and neck relaxed. Reaching up through the fingertips. And we're going to turn the whole torso now to look to the left. And back to the center. And then turn the whole torso to look to the right. And back to the center. Beautiful. And releasing. Nice work. And come into forward virasana. So kneeling towards the back of your mat. And arms as far forward as you can reach. Hips as close to your heels as your body allows. Sometimes that means that your hips are up high, your knees are vulnerable. But finding the movement that challenges you a little, just enough. Keep expanding the ribs on the inhalation, contracting the ribs on the exhalation. And we're going to walk the hands over to the left side of the mat. Walk as far as you can and reach your right arm as far as you can. And then back to the center of the mat. Walk your hands over to the right side. Walk as far as you can and reach your left arm as far as you can. And back to center. Look forward at your hands. We're going to take the elbows out wide and bring the chest just above the floor so you can lay down onto your tummy. Elbows in, elbows back, hands underneath the shoulders. we're going to lift the breastbone off the floor and lower. So we're going to do that movement with the breath. Stretch out through your leg. Press the tops of the feet down. Gather the buttock muscles towards center. And with the inhalation, expanding the ribs as you lift. Lengthening the rib cage as you exhale. As you lift up now, see if you can lighten where the hands are pressing into the floor. Maybe even lift the hands off the floor as you lower down. Feeling the spine growing longer, the ribs spacious, and the spaces between the ribs strong. Press into your hands, press back, this time into child's pose. So rest the arms beside you if that is possible. Hmm. Hmm. Feeling the expansion of the breath, the ribs. Good. And then inhale and lifting up. And we're going to come up to standing. You might be able to do that by tucking the toes under, rolling back over your feet. Otherwise, help yourself to stand up, appreciating all your little movements. I'm just looking at our lighting, still having a bit of a, I don't know where her face is. Zoom is amazing technology, but it has trouble telling humans apart from doors. Mm. Standing into Tadasana. Mm. And finding that expansion of the ribs. And shoulders relaxing down, spine lengthening. Mm. Following the rhythm of your breath, we're just going to shift weight from side to side. So I'm standing on the left foot, the right foot lifts, but I don't put the right foot back down until the ball of the foot finds the floor, and then shifting your weight. Standing on the right foot, left foot lift, but I don't put the weight into the left foot until I've found the floor and can shift the weight back. We're not falling back into position, but rather balance on the standing leg, finding the floor each time. Notice any tendency to fall back into position. Bring the awareness right into the feet and the leg and the balance and the breath. The easy posture in your neck. Mm. Good. We're going to stand into the right leg now and put the sole of your left foot against the inside of your right leg. Now, it might need to be down at the floor, so you can keep your tiptoes on the floor, maybe up higher, maybe even above your knee. I can use my hands to help. We're just going to try and find the hips level to the floor. lifting the belly, lifting the breastbone. Let's bring the arms out at first from the shoulders. Really stretch the front of the chest wide. Feel that expansive breath. We're going to turn the torso a little to the left. Just as far as you can manage that movement. And back to the center. And then a little to the right. And back to the center. Good. And then releasing that leg. See if you can avoid falling back down, but find the floor and then transfer your weight. Nice work. So we're back on 2 feet. And then place the sole of your right foot somewhere on the inside of your left leg. So near to the floor, under the knee or above the knee. Sometimes knees are vulnerable. We might have an injury and we're trying to keep up with our yoga practice. A little bit of a bend in the standing leg can help. Trying to lift the quadriceps, more of the standing leg. Beautiful. Let's lift the belly, the breastbone, arms out from the shoulders. Reach the back of the hands back and feel that expansive movement of the breath in the ribcage. We're going to turn the torso to the right side. Turn the torso to the left side. Nice work. Whoops, I fell down into position. See if you can find the floor first. Transfer your weight. Feet under the arm. Take your arms out. We're going to bend forward into Uttanasana. Hands onto the knees. We're going to look forward and draw the bones of the spine forward. And we're going to sway the torso from side to side. Now, as you do that, you'll notice that one leg gets to stretch a little bit more. We also start to engage the core of the body. Back, side, front. Keep the spine healthy. Feeling the flow of breath. And as you start to warm up, you can reach the top of the head a little bit further forward or out the side. You could go even further towards the floor. Your body moves in that direction. Swaying from side to side, feeling the stretch transfer across the leg. And then find your center. The bones of the spine feeling like they're pressing forward. The chest still feeling spacious with the breath. Elbows in, elbows back. Take the hands back behind you or beside you so the palms are facing up, like you're preparing to dive. And bring the palms closer to the ceiling or to the floor overhead. Top of the head reaching forward or down, depending on your movement. Back of the legs stretching. Reach through the fingertips, so draw the shoulders away from your ears. Finding the breath. Nice work. We're going to roll up, bring the arms up. Nice big breath in. And release the arms by your sides. Turn the palms out, upper arms out, Tadasana. And then finishing with the palms facing the side. Mountain pose with parallel feet, parallel leg. Still aware of your expanding and contracting breath. We're going to take the arms up by the ears and bending the knees a little and sending the sit bones back towards the floor behind the heels. Contain the core of the body. Feel the support for the spine. The belly is lifting towards the spine. Let's come into a forward bend. Hands can rest on your legs or the floor. And then we're going to walk the hands as far as we can around to the left side. Now, if you were to let the right hip fall forward, then you're not going to get the same stretch. So try to anchor the right hip back so that you've got a place to stretch from. So we're going to reach with the right arm. We're going to keep the right ear relaxed next to the bicep. Good. Lifting the back of the legs, lifting the quadriceps, and reaching with the right hand. Let's walk the hands around to the right side. And really reaching with the left arm. Relaxing the neck. Feeling the breath expand and contract. Really lengthening the left side of the body by keeping the left hip anchored. Beautiful. Back to center. Great. We're going to wiggle or step or even jump your feet out so that they're wider apart than your leg is long. Toes turned in. Lift the kneecaps, the quadriceps, the sit bones, hands under the shoulders, looking forward. Pressing gently the bones of the spine forward, feeling the chest expand. The ribs expand. Contract with the breath. Strong leg. Good. Pressing the outside edges of the feet down. Beautiful. And then we're going to wiggle the feet back into about hip width. I'm just turning my toes in, then my heels in, toes in, heels in. Good. And we're going to sit. So you might need to come up and get a chair to help you get down to the floor. Or you might be able to just come down into that squatting position. Heels as close to the floor as you can. A little bit of foot maneuverability so you can sit without using your hands. There's lots of ways to get on the floor and back up. And we're going to sit up on the floor. For foot flexibility, sometimes kneeling is just out of the question. Your knees are sore. But giving the front of your foot a good stretch is so important. So if you couldn't bend your knee too much, you could still grab hold of your foot and give yourself a nice massage and curl those toes under. But otherwise, what we're going to do is try and put the right leg beside you in a kneeling position. And you're going to pull your blanket so that it's under your left sit bone. So the right leg's in a kneeling position. Good. And then we're going to put the left leg out straight in front. The higher this blanket is, the less torque or twist on the right knee. So make the blanket higher if you need to. If it's really not working, then just give your foot a massage. So try to bring the toes back towards your back. And we're going to turn to the left side. And we're going to feel that expansion of the ribs. So if you don't have your leg folded, if it hurts your knee, then just do this with legs out straight in front. Mm. And we're going to try and keep the turn of the ribs, but we're going to start to lift and lengthen the ribs over the left leg, so in the direction of the left foot. And you can put your hands where they help you. Keep the ribs turning. Keep both sides of the spine long. And just start heading your center front torso to the little toe of that left leg. Breathing. Nice work. We're going to release that side, and right leg can come out. And left leg is going to fold behind if it can. Sit your right sit bone up onto your blanket. So if the left leg doesn't fold behind, start off just giving yourself that nice little massage, like trying to curl your toes as much as you can towards the heel, trying to stretch the front of your foot. Otherwise, if you sit in a kneeling position, the floor is kind of doing that for you already. All right, so try to get that feeling where you're fairly even, both sides of the spine, maybe double your blanket. If your left leg won't fold under, do this with legs straight out in front. Let's turn to the right side. Feeling the ribs expand and contract with the breath. Feeling where there is breath followed by movement. Great. Now we're going to keep the turn of the ribs, but start to lift and lengthen the belly, the left rib, out and over the right leg. You can slide your hands to where they support. Awkward movement. Moving into this direction to discover where things become difficult for the body. And trying to create as much ease as you can for your neck. Staying connected to that expansive breath, the contracting breath. Good, and then we'll release that side. We're going to sit with the legs in a simple position, like cross-legged. And again, if that didn't work for your knee, try a leg out wide. You can always put some support, like pillows under your knees. When I've had knee injuries, I have used support so I can keep up with my yoga practice. The nice thing about support under the knees, and if you don't need it, you can just use the floor, is you can really activate and press down through the back of the legs and lift the quadricep. You feel nice and strong in your legs. So legs crossed, people just doing that so that it's comfortable. And lengthening the spine. Because we're going to do a spinal twist, Sukhasana, and take your right hand to the outside of your left leg, or Parivrtta Sukhasana, twisting seated pose. Take the left ribs back, lengthening the spine. And And find where your form can follow the breath. Finding that expansion and contraction of the rib, the lung. Beautiful. Now we're going to come back to center, but we're going to repeat that side. We're going to add an arm bind in. So if you take your left arm as far out from your heart as you can, and then reach it behind. You're going to reach behind you as far as you can until your fingers are on the outside of your right back or ribs or hip. And then if you can, take hold of part of your right arm. So I can grab hold of my wrist and then wiggle my fingers up until I'm holding near the elbow or even the upper arm. If your arms are shorter, you'll have more trouble to grab something. But then what you do is bring the right hand across to the left as far as you can. So you can hold on to leggings or legs. So now we're turning with the arm bind. And notice how that difficult feeling, the arms behind you, is bringing the kidneys forward, the lower back forward. We've already been concentrating on bringing the upper back forward. So now the whole spine is engaged in pressing forward towards the front of the torso. Feel the breath is now. Mm. Oh. Letting your movement follow your breath. Nice work. And then releasing. Good. We're going to change the cross of the legs if you happen to have them crossed. And turning to the right side. And we're looking to follow the breath here. To really feel the ribs expanding and contracting. And following that movement of the breath with the turn of the body. Beautiful. Now we're going to come back to the front to try that arm bind. So reach your right arm out as far as you can from your heart. So really try to stretch it out. And then we're going to take the arm behind. So you're rotating the shoulder forward, the palm up to the ceiling, taking the arm behind you as far as you can in the vicinity of your left waist, left hip, left back, and see if you can grab hold of part of your left hand, wrist, forearm, even upper arm. And then we try to wiggle the left fingers in front of the torso as far as you can to the right side. Oh. Okay, so we come up against a lot of resistance here. But the arm bind is starting to really help press the kidneys, the lower back, the middle back forward. So as you breathe and feel the expansion of the ribs, the contraction, you can start to find your movement, a fuller expression of the movement. Beautiful. And then releasing. Ooh. Take your blanket and put it underneath your sacrum. Legs hip width and parallel, feet and legs. Hands on the rib cage. And as you relax your lower back here into the shape of the equipment or the void between the blanket and the floor, feel the lungs and the ribs expanding and contracting. We're going to release the arms and use them to move with the breath. So as you expand the lungs, taking the arms overhead, and as you exhale, arms back by your side. Good. And then find a place for your hands to rest. I'm going to rest mine on the belly and listen to the breath there. I'll feel the breath there with my hand. Letting the lower back relax. We're going to do bamboo pose, and that means bringing the feet off the floor and knees just balanced in towards the chest. And you adjust your blanket so that the knees do just balance, so you don't feel like you're really working hard. Okay, so sometimes the blanket needs to be a bit further away from your center back or a little doubled over, giving you a bit more height. Good. And then if you feel balanced, you can take your legs straight up. If it really doesn't work and you're struggling in your core body to hold your legs up, then just put your feet back down on the floor and let the core relax. Good. So we might have the legs balanced there or resting on the floor, and try an arm position that feels like it's nourishing for you. So that might be arms overhead, give you a stretch that feels good. Maybe straight out from the shoulders or cactus arms. And what feels good, of course, is different for everybody. And I use the word nourishing because you'll know when you find something that you feel like your body needs. Feeling the expansion and contraction. Good, and then we're going to release from there. Take your blanket out. Arms straight out from the shoulders, knees into the chest. And we're going to start just rocking the legs. You don't have to go all the way to the floor to start with, but from side to side, just enough to feel the core of the body working, so that the core works to stabilize the spine. You can feel you using the front core, the side core, and then maybe you can take that leg further without any detriment to the body, feeling strong. You can reach all the way to the floor. And lift up without pulling on the spine, using your core awareness. And last side. Hug your knees into your chest. And focusing again for a moment on the expansion. You had time to stay in your own Shavasana. How lovely. If, like me, you need to finish your practice, bringing your feet down and rolling to your side. So you can come up to sitting. Mm. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Feeling the replenishment of the breath in your body. The restoration of equilibrium. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.